Hi, I'm Mikhail and I'm one of the creators of the rooMote platform. We are creating a system that will make it possible to control virtually any device from a smartphone, tablet, or a device that can act as a wireless controller, including existing TV remotes. We think that there should not be a limit on the things you can control or the devices you can control them with. This is where the remote comes in. Wouldn't it be great if you did not need to have multiple remotes for controlling all your devices? What about not even having that clunky old universal remote and controlling them with your smartphone? But why stop there? What about the lighting, temperature, or even your garage? With your help, we can make all of this possible. To make this device possible, we designed a simple, non-intrusive, and contemporary-looking hub that will allow users to simply plug it in and connect to it using a computer. Although this is just a CAD prototype, the final design will look very similar to what you see here. Let me show you how I have everything set up. So that's the remote that I've been testing with. That is my laptop for researching anything that I would need. I have a keyboard, I have an oscilloscope there at the bottom, I have some random parts that I have. There's my computer. There is the TM751X10 module for the X10 protocol. Right next to it is the CM19A USB module, also for X10, so that is what's actually going to be communicating with the outlet, and it's plugged in via USB. Then I have my wireless over Ethernet card, as well as my mouse, my Bluetooth, and the USB to serial port from my development board. Now there's the Raspberry Pi itself. That's what I've been using for my development and for hosting my server. Connected to the Raspberry Pi, you will now see the development board, and that is in order to have a real-time operating system, I need exact interrupts to capture the remote signals, which is what that is being used for. And it's provided to us by Texas Instruments and the university's EC department. Next, we have some spare parts, and then also the circuit design. Here you can see the infrared sensor right there in black that I'm zooming into, and then a couple of resistors, and that is my LED dongle for sending the actual signal. And this is my setup. For our first demo, I'll show you the home automation. This is the X10 module plugged into my wall port and has a fan plugged into it, which is sitting on my desk. Now when we go over to the computer, we're going to see one thing, and that'll be the IP address. So if you see it right there, it's highlighted. It's 192.168.1.8, which is the local address of the Raspberry Pi. Now, as you can see on my screen, I have that exact same thing typed in, /x10, and it is hosting my server. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the fan, which is the top one. So now it's selected, and we're going to do is click on. Now we look over at the fan, and you can possibly hear and see that it's spinning. Notice how you don't see any blades. It's going pretty fast. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to click that little checkbox, select it, and then click the off button. And once we look over towards the fan, we will be able to see that it's actually slowing down and that it's going to come to a stop. Now it looks kind of goofy on the computer because it's meant for a phone, which is what I'm going to show you next. So there's my iPhone. I'm going to turn it on quick, and hopefully, yep, let's get the focus correct. And there it is. And so same thing, we're going to check that, click yes, look up, and the fan should be spinning. And there it is. Now, although I don't actually have the receiver portion of the system, I have the Sony remote, and it's for a DVD player. And so I will show you that this can actually capture the devices using the infrared sensor and then send them out via the LED. So you see this LCD panel, that's actually, pay attention to that, that's going to show you the waveform that is going to be captured. So what we're doing here is we're going to press the button, point it, and watch the screen. There it is. So if you take a look closely, you can actually see that there are lots of up and down bars, and that is a signal that comes out of the remote when you press the on button. Now I've set up the select button to actually send that signal over the LED, and so you can actually see the infrared when you're looking at it through a phone. So you're going to see a small purple light right in the center of that LED when I press it, and there we go, zoomed in, there it is, right there blinking. The goal of this project is to put all of these components onto one chip and make it sellable. So first you have the Zigbee portion, then you have the Z-Wave portion, and then you have the infrared. Each of those is going to be a hardware component. Under that is going to be the underlying server. So all of these servers are internal and for communication between each other and the central database only. The central database is going to contain all of the actions and triggers and all of the links that tie them together to know when you receive a signal from a certain device, which device to send it to and what to send. This is all going to be controlled by a main application that's going to be running on the chip constantly, and on top of it there will be an Apache server that can both you can connect to with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to achieve full control. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find my presentation and prototype GoFundMe worthy.